He said I was going back home to make a ceasefire. Not a ceasefire. We're long beyond ceasefire. And I said, why do you say that? Why would you say ceasefire? It's a bad term to use. Because a ceasefire means like everything's going swimmingly, we'll take a little time off. It's not. We're not looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for a total, complete victory. Again, you know what the victory is. No nuclear weapon. So I thought it was a very badly worded statement by him, and obviously I let him know that.
We'll come down so hard if they do anything to our people. We'll come down so hard that loves her off so beautifully. Now, I think they know not to touch our troops.
Mr. President, what do you say to the Supreme Leader of Iran who said that they will not strike?
You say good luck.
What is the end game?
Say it.
Who gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. The first time I had it, but you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Q Post 4866, October 14, 2020, 9:02 p.m. EDT. Hunters become the hunted. Patriots in control. And as easy, the hunters on. Media keywords: meme, movie poster, hunters become the hunted. Trump meme, the hunters on. Patriots in control, below the depths of the DC swamp. Media keywords contributors: Enoch. After today, make more sense. Buckle up. Q Post 3557, July 30th, 2019, 1:52 p.m. EDT. Targets may be closer than they appear. Hunters become the hunted. Q.
About the Nasser and the reset for Iraq. In my opinion, and now this is just me, and then I also had the book that I've told y'all about that Brant Smith wrote about Iraq when he was in Iraq right after we had been in the whole the Gulf War stuff, and how devastated it was. If you haven't looked at how many people are leaving Iran right now, and you don't understand the Christians that have been having to pull out of Iran because they have been hunted and killed, and Christian preachers have been assassinated
for decades.
Yes, and we never get that news because Iran controls every bit of media that leaves there. That's one reason I do believe Israel targeted a television station, because the people in Iran aren't even getting the truth, much less the rest of the world. But what if it did clear out the IRGC? I mean, they've already lost every general in that organization that was high up. I mean, there's like 14 of them that's been done away with. Yeah. And my thought process is, if they clean the slate, the money and the real actually gets to revalue, just like the dinar gets to revalue. And you build a stronger Iraq, because they've always had, it's been a tug of war kind of with them, but yet they've always been on the same side pretty much because they're Muslims. It's a Muslim community pretty much. And I just think that if Trump is aware of our reset, the Great Reset, and us going gold back in the whole world, this may be clearing out the ones that were clogging the wheel that would not let the rest of this finish, is my opinion.
Yeah, well, and it's widely known that Iran has controlled a lot of the political leaders in Iraq for a long time. And I think I said it on Monday, but I think this is God taking out the trash on both sides, right? We talked about Tel Aviv. I have blown people's mind with that. I had no idea about them being Tel Aviv being the gay capital of the world. But I think you had a perfect word. It's cleaning the slate. It's wiping the slate clean and allowing peace and prosperity to come across the whole world. And I think as much today as I did on Monday, I think we are down to the end. I mean,
Yeah.
is it, are we all going to be rich by Friday? No, I don't think so. But I definitely think we're getting towards the end of this. And I think that it's just this is the final phase, right? We were told, and again, I'm not the Q guy, but the Q drops, the weird deltas that are hitting right now in the last 10 days, I mean, they give me a lot of hope, because it talks about Iran, it talks about a regime change. There's so much happening right now. I think, we were told it was going to be a worldwide scare event, World War III event, a nuclear event, or scare. And again, the scare event is not for us, right? It's not for those of us that have been awake and been paying attention. It's for the people that are just woefully and ignorantly asleep. And it just, what frustrates me is there have been hundreds of thousands of lives lost over the last 4 to 5, 6 years.
I've heard about Mike's Trump rant, but I have not heard it. But I can tell you, after making a couple of inquiries, they laughed and said, wow, they fell for that. Yeah, no, I think he absolutely fell for some crap. I mean, but hey, which one of us haven't fallen for really bad information because we needed something, we were wanting something, and maybe it clicked at that time, but no, he's absolutely wrong. Let's see. Dallas said he's heard different on the Zim. Folly, I don't know. What did he hear?
Everything that I believe I know to be true right now. So I'm going to give you your news update, and you're not going to be happy about it, but here it is. We have not gone yet. We should have gone weeks ago. We should have gone months ago. We were within 30 minutes of going at one point. And the person who has stopped it on every single occasion is Donald John Trump, who apparently is in charge. I've heard other things like he's not in charge. It's now in the hands of the BIS, Bureau of International Settlements, or the IMF. Those things do not appear to be true. Donald Trump appears to have veto power over it. He set this aside. It was ready to go last weekend, a week ago. Not this weekend, but the weekend before. Sunday, Monday, as Jen told you. She was absolutely correct when she told you that, as were other intel providers. Trump stopped it because at the last minute, Trump wanted to bring the way to do that to force Iran to give up their nuclear ambitions, their nuclear program. They strung him out, they strung him out, they strung him out, and then they didn't do it. So as Trump had set under Nassara, he gave them 60 days to agree to come in and join the rest of the world. They chose not to, so the attack happened. The Israelis were given free rein to destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities. The idea is to force the Iranians back to the negotiating table. I personally do not believe a negotiated settlement with a homicidal maniac regime like the Iranians is a good thing, and allow them to continue to abuse their people internally. I don't think that's a good deal. But Trump wanted to get it done because he wanted that last crown jewel in his hat to say, oh, look at everything I did. I even got the Iranians to give up their nuclear program. Well, they didn't give it up. So we've had the war going on between Israel and Iran. Iran is losing. Iran has lost. As you heard on the show last night, as Brooks pointed out, as you heard on the show last night, Israel has not targeted their ballistic missiles so much as they've targeted their launchers. They apparently are out of launchers. They are launching fewer and fewer rockets into the sky. Their ability to fight back is less and less. They've had nuclear facilities hit, but not completely destroyed. Trump has said to Khomeini, the Ayatollah Khomeini, who is in charge of the country, the demonic despot, had said that we know exactly where you are and we can take you out at any time. He has not permitted the Israelis to do that. If they do that, then it will be regime change as opposed to making a deal. In other words, Trump also made a big deal out of the fact that they killed all the hardliners. The Israelis did. They killed all the hardliners who refused to make the financial deal to finish off the RV. So those people are all gone. The only one left is Khomeini. They even replaced some of the military leaders, and the Israelis killed them. So now we're in generation 3. I wouldn't take one of those jobs if I was there. I wouldn't take one of those jobs. So we have 2 paths now. And as I understand it, Trump has given them until Friday to come to an agreement. If we have an agreement on Friday, there is a chance the RV could go after that. I will remind you, the RV could have, would have, and should have gone Inauguration Day. March 31st, everything was done. Everything's been ready since March 31st. The banks are ready. The IMF is ready. The BIS is ready. Everyone's ready. When Tony tells you the banks have been given permission to go ahead and start exchanging people, he's telling you the truth. The banks are not going to do it. They have already done it. I'm aware of people that have exchanged bonds and currency and been paid. Those banks are now out that money. It's been nearly 3 months and no RV. So they gave people the money, in one case, $191 million, and they cannot then turn around and turn that currency into the treasury and get paid back on that plus their profit, which is the only reason why the banks are participating, because Trump has not pulled the trigger. The banks are not going to do that. Now, I initially thought maybe what Trump is trying to do is he's trying to sucker the banks into bringing people in and exchanging us anyway. And then he's going to pull the rug out from under the banks and bankrupt all of them and destroy them. It's a possibility as a strategery. That could be something he's trying to do. The banks aren't biting. They don't trust him. I don't blame them for not trusting them, Trump, at this point. So that doesn't appear to be the scenario. So here's the way I understand it. There's nothing happening on the bond side, nothing. Promises, 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 nobody ever gets paid. There is a huge whale bondholder who's been in a European country for the last 4 weeks, being told every day he's going to be put through tomorrow, and it's never happened. His visa is now expiring, so he's leaving the country because he hasn't been paid out like he was supposed to. So because Donald Trump insisted on bringing Iran into this deal, that is why it has not happened. If we went without Iran, who's not really a member of the international community anyway, at least the current government, we could have all been moving on with our lives and going forward. That's what I want, obviously, because I don't give a damn about what happens 6,500 miles away in Turkestan. I don't care. I care about the Iranian people, the Persian people. Everyone I've ever met are wonderful people. And most of them are not Muslims. They're Eastern Orthodox Christians. I would like to have an alliance with the people of Persia. But if they kill Khomeini, and as of now, Khomeini is refusing to accept the New Deal. We bombed the shit out of him, and now then supposedly there's negotiations going on. Khomeini said no as of this morning. Okay, he may change his mind after another round of airstrikes. We shall see. But if they decide they're going to kill Khomeini, then that means regime change. If regime change happens, it will be weeks or months or even years before we proceed, if regime change is the decision. Now, does there have to be a regime change in Iran? Yes. In order to move into Jassara, yes. But there's a difference between a peaceful regime change and a chaotic rebellion, which will put things, I believe, Jen may have other information, I believe it will put things off for months. The Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, has said it's time to country again. The Shah was removed by Jimmy Carter and the CIA in 1979, leading to all of the chaos we've had in the Middle East in the last 45 years. So that stuff is all on the table. if Iran cooler heads prevail and Khamenei accepts an exit deal, Putin has said, you can come to Russia, be in exile in Russia, live out the rest of your life here. Then it will be peaceful transition and we could go Friday or Saturday. If he refuses that and they have to remove him forcibly, it will be a mess and it will put everything off. The last bit of this is that other Iranian leaders are apparently negotiating their exit strategies. They know they've lost the war. They know they're not going to win it. And they're ready to get out with their skins, and families intact. So it's all a question now of a belligerent debtor Islamic Republic, what they're going to do. It's up to them. So everything is in the hands of these people right now. And Friday is the deadline. So by Friday, I believe we will have clarity on whether we go forward or whether it all stops and has to be restarted from scratch. None of this would have happened if we had simply gone without Iran. Now, Iran is in danger of scuttling everything. And that is what I believe to be the truth. And I think there's only one person to blame for this, and it's not the Iranians.
Is this competition about who is wrong or right about the time that would be needed? Certainly, it was not for tomorrow. Maybe not a matter of years. I would there be perhaps more serious about this, and I don't think it was a matter of years. But this is speculation. Why? I go again to the beginning of my comment. These things we don't know, because if there was some activity which was clandestine or hidden or away from our inspectors, we couldn't know. What we informed and what we reported was that we did not have, as in coincidence with some of the sources you mentioned there, that we did not have any proof of a systematic effort to move into a nuclear weapon.
They had to throw them iPhones away. They're saying that Trump Mobile might give iPhones and Samsungs a run for their money. So the Trump family has just announced that they're dropping a cell phone called the T1. You know what that means, right? Trump One. The Make America Great Again phone. And that T1 is going to be $499 with a cellular phone plan of $47.50, I think. And that plan comes with call, text, unlimited internet, and all of that, like I said, for $47. Where you getting that at? That's what they asked. They're saying that this phone is going to be way better than the iPhone, way better than the Galaxy, way better than any phone that you're using for a small amount of money. I guess they're saying that these other phone services are ripping us off, so they want to provide something new. But what do you think? Are y'all dropping your iPhones? Y'all dropping them droids to get y'all T1, a Make America Great Again phone? That's what I want to know. That's my question. I got me an iPhone and I have me a Samsung, and I don't think I'm letting them go. But I want to know what y'all doing. Are you getting the new Trump phone? His family put it out so y'all can copy. Are you copying it? And it's gold. His favorite color. Let me know if you copying that. I'm out.
A constitutional republic, not a democracy. The ideal of a democracy is universal equality. The ideal of a constitutional republic is individual liberty. A democracy always degenerates into dictatorship, which promises government-guaranteed equality and security, but it delivers nothing but poverty and serfdom for the people it robs and rules. America was founded as a constitutional republic to safeguard the liberties of the people against the tyranny of democracy or of one-man dictatorship. In this century, great strides have been made toward the goal of subverting our republic into a democracy. The foremost tactic of the subverters is subversion of language. By calling America a democracy until people thoughtlessly accept and use the term, the totalitarians have obscured the real meaning of our principles of government. That is a summary of my report on a constitutional republic, not a democracy. The full report after a message from my sponsor.
Patriots, something extraordinary is unfolding behind the scenes, a shift so massive it's quietly changing the global financial landscape while the mainstream media keeps the world distracted with talk of recessions and market jitters. But we see beyond the noise. On the 13th of June, 2025, a decisive moment occurred. The quantum financial system, or QFS, is no longer theory or future promise. It's live, it's active, and it's reshaping the world's financial backbone. The old fiat system, long controlled by hidden elites, is collapsing under its own weight. They call it a recession, but what we're witnessing is the final chapter of a century-old scheme based on debt, paper, currency, and illusion. Let's break this down. Over 12,000 bank branches have closed in just 30 days. Bank accounts frozen, assets blocked. Why? Because those legacy institutions are no longer connected to the real engine of value. Without quantum clearance, their digital balances are just empty numbers, ghosts of a broken system. Here's where it gets real. Trump's gold directive, signed back in January, set this in motion. Military operations have been recovering stolen gold, bearer bonds, and sensitive biometric records from underground vaults in 42 countries. These assets aren't being hidden. They're being verified using advanced technologies and fed directly into QFS. This system is backed by real, tangible wealth and guarded by none other than the U.S. Space Force. Every transaction now, logged on quantum infrastructure, tied to verified biometric identity, and immune to manipulation. There's no place left for fraud or laundering. The cabal's puppet masters have lost control of their old tools. SWIFT, ACH, and CBDCs are obsolete. RLUSD and XRP are the future digital assets with true backing and purpose in this new era. But the battle isn't over. Declassified documents hint at false flags in the works, from cyber blackouts to staged footage and disinformation campaigns aimed at undermining public trust in redemption centers. These are last-ditch efforts from a system that's already lost. Their cyber attacks on RLUSD servers, neutralized in seconds, their narrative crumbling. Meanwhile, over 400 high-level bankers have quietly exited their positions since the 10th of June, flagged as obstacles to global asset transition. The World Bank has surrendered 70% of its private gold reserves, funneled into humanitarian funds within the QFS. The IMF, being restructured from within, with their core systems now operating on quantum-secured networks under Space Force oversight. And the tech behind it all, dark fiber activations have rerouted the flow of financial data, bypassing central bank firewalls and leaving legacy systems blind to the transition. What the world sees as the internet is just the tip of the iceberg. The real grid is now handling QFS operations at a scale never seen before. What's next? The 17th of June marks a critical point. National vaults begin the physical conversion of fiat into gold certificates. Quiet leaks may come from Italy, Kazakhstan, and Norway. Medbed location codes will roll out to verified users, prioritizing veterans, children, and those most in need. And on the 19th of June, the Rainbow Wallet enters full mode, enabling sovereign payouts and historical bond credits. All of this, Patriots, points to a truth the media won't tell you. The century-long system of financial enslavement is being dismantled. And the most incredible part, they can't stop it. The future is already written in quantum code. So what should we do? Stay alert, stay informed, don't fall for distractions or staged chaos. The redemption of this nation and the world is unfolding, one verified transaction at a time. You are no longer collateral in a rigged system. Your sovereignty is being restored.
Grasshopper posted on X. You are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Tell me what are the odds Iran overthrow government could be foreshadowed by Q7 years in advance. Q 1604 06 27 2018 5-year delta plus 9. We stand with the good people of Iran who are currently battling their installed regime for freedom, true rule. The people have the power. Rise up and demand they be removed. At some point, military generals will act with the will of the people simply because their soldiers are those same people and have no choice. We stand with you. We are monitoring the situation closely. Stay safe. God bless Q. Also from War Horizon, IRIB, the National Broadcasting Television of Iran, has been hacked. The message encouraged people to take to the streets and overthrow the regime. War analyst Onyx. The Simpsons predicted that on June 20th, everything will come to an end. The last day of civilization, June 2025. Well, let's hope it's a announcement of the notifications for the RV. Pray it comes soon. Majeed posted on X 8:01 AM, June 19, 2025. FYI, all Iraqi government officials fled the country. And then Dolphy asks the question, does this mean a leadership change in Iraq as well, or will they try to return? Are all the satanic, brutal warmongers gone for good? Is Mohammed Shia al-Sudani gone for good? Can we finally have peace in Iraq and Iran? Sudani status. I won't show you the next picture, but yes, Majeed's got a weird sense of humour. Look for yourself. Laura Loomer posted on X 6/18/25/21/25. How many people know that Tucker Carlson, who claims to be anti-war, went into business with Dick Cheney's policy advisor, Neil Patel, TDC? How can they have any credibility to call Trump pro-war? Dick Cheney's advisor is Tucker Carlson's business partner. Just let that sink in. US Homeland Security on X, posted 4:01 PM, June 18, 2025. Alert! A US plane landed in Israel today and evacuated US diplomats and their families. In 12 News. True Stormy Joe posted on X, 9:23 PM, 6/18/25. 88 with the flags. We knew the height would mean something. HT at News Treason. Trump installs pair of 88-foot tall new flagpoles at the White House. President Donald Trump said the flags were a gift from him. Aaron Mansfield and Joey Garrison. That was updated June 18, 25, 7:47 PM. 88. The poles are 88 feet tall. Q Post 88, November 5th, 2017. Reads like prophecy. 10 days darkness, scare tactics, MSM, military operations, operators in US, The Great Awakening, Godfather 3. Q88 also references a sequence, Saudi Arabia, United States, Asia, EU, military control, martial law, rogue missile strike. Distractions are necessary. Focus was USA Today. It doesn't show the person that shared this post, but it was shared on Telegram. It reads, HUD Secretary Scott Turner, the one big beautiful bill will give millions of Americans financial freedom and unleash America's golden age.
He was elected President of the United States. Yeah. And the American people elected him to make these decisions on their behalf. And if and when those decisions are made, the department is prepared to execute.
Republican from Kentucky. He has joined several Democrats saying this is not our war. Even if it were, Congress must decide such matters according to our Constitution. Should we get further involved today?
Thomas Massey is on the wrong side of this, and I think that's very clear. We are in a defensive posture right now. The president is making the right decisions. Why? Because, Bill, we have to protect U.S. assets and obviously our personnel. We got 40,000 U.S. service members stationed in the region over there. That is what the president is doing. He's fully within his authority to act in that manner, and that is what the commander-in-chief is supposed to do. We have to stand by our ally Israel. They're our closest ally and friend, the only stable democracy in the region, and we have to make sure that they can do the job they need to do to protect their citizenry.
Majeed posted on X, Iran and Iraq will be cleaned by the latest Friday night, June 20th. Reset begins June 21st. MC. The reset begins June 21st. That's what 123 means by BG 123. So it begins is 121. June 21st is 121 on 3 mountains. Look at Ripple Riddler clock. It resets at summer solstice. That does not mean it's when XRP hits 589. Will the expert decoders figure the rest? I was posted on X, 4:23 p.m. 05/11/21. Johnny Midnight posted on X. Diddy has thrown former President Obama under the bus, admitted Obama attended free golf more than 17 times from video evidence. It shows more than 20 times he was there. Dirty bastard. Anyway, we all know the truth about Obama. That's Obama 2.0. 17 times. Wow. That 17 is a very magical number. Genius Act confirmed. ISO 20022 is set for activation July 14th. Without the Genius Act fully passing and Trump signing, there is no currency revaluation reinstatement. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean Genius Act. Get it to my desk ASAP. No delays, no add-ons. The enemy wants you to obsess over the stuff you can't control. God wants you to relax, rest in Him, and trust that He'll work all things out for good.